The final round of the NRL season kicks off on Thursday night with what you would expect to be an absolute thriller between the Brisbane Broncos and the Melbourne Storm. But you're wrong. I'm going to tell you why this game is pretty, not interesting at all if you're following some of these major trends that I have up my sleeve in this one. But first, before we go anywhere, don't forget about the cheat sheet where you'll find those trends and much more, all the stats that we use over at bets.com.au, absolutely free. Now, let's dive into this one. Yeah, it looks pretty rough for the Brisbane Broncos. The easy tip, in my opinion, is that the Melbourne Storm are going to cover with a 3.5-point start. Look, the Broncos haven't beaten the Melbourne Storm in the home and away season since 2016. So it's I think it was 16 wins in a row for the Melbourne Storm. And then if you look even way back and you're looking at Suncorp Stadium matches, 17 in a row for the Melbourne Storm as well. So it's an absolutely one-sided affair in this matchup head-to-head. And then if you start looking at form and diving in, who's beating who at the moment, I'm a little bit worried about the Brisbane Broncos. And I'm sure Broncos fans can actually be on my side a little bit in this one because they haven't looked sharp at all in their last 3 victories against bottom 8 teams. Their last 5 wins have actually been against bottom 8 teams, and they've been very unconvincing. Mistakes, putting pressure on themselves, and giving up a lot of points. Yes, they only gave up 12 against the Newcastle Knights, but I think it was 28 against the Dolphins, 30 against the Cowboys last week. So I would be a little bit uncomfortable if I'm a Brisbane Broncos fan heading into the finals. And in this matchup, coming up against the Storm, Jerome Hughes back, all their boys are back on deck for this one as they build momentum towards the finals. Their last 4 wins, 3 of those against top 8 teams. So the Melbourne Storm are the informed team in this one. Brisbane Broncos a little shaky, and all the trends point towards the Melbourne Storm. So I like them to cover, and I like them to go over their 24.5-point team total. Look, in the last 12 wins, home and away victories against the Brisbane Broncos, they've averaged 36.83 points. And before Jerome Hughes got injured, the Melbourne Storm were averaging 31 points per game. So I like that team total for the Melbourne Storm. I like them to cover. And of course, Jerome Hughes back. He'll find his boy Xavier Coates, who scored in 4 of his last 5 games. He scored 6 tries in those matches as well. So Xavier Coates, Melbourne Storm, -3.5, and their team total to be surpassed at 24.5. Just remember, through the last round and all the way through the finals, gamble responsibly and happy punting.